Choć wciąż do snu szepty kocham cię. Kocham cię. wstaję wreszcie, widzę znów jak Bóg rozkłada swoje ręce. Gdy wychodzę mu naprzeciw, patrzę w góry, jak do nieba się drapują. Zimny wiatr rozchyla trawy, jakby szukał razem ze mną dnia. To nieprawda, że świat najpiękniejszy jest, gdy się ogląda go w swych snach. Boję się otworzyć oczy, gdy przestaję pod stopami czuć kamienie. Choć herbata wciąż paruje, a gdzieś w lesie śpiewa jesień. Czuję, jakby czas zatrzymał się na zawsze, jakby przestał istnieć cały świat. Szybko więc zawracam przesycona do swojego domu, do swych lat.
Podcast Detroit Studios in Royal Oak, Michigan. For more information about the show or our network, please visit www.podcastdetroit.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's the Undercard. The Undercard brings you the best in hand combat sports, featuring major interviews, current events, and the hottest ring girls from around the nation. The Undercard is sponsored by Falling Down Beer Company, Podcast Detroit Studios, and is produced by Rochelle Whitten. And now, here are your hosts, Brad, Cody, and Jimmy.
Welcome back to the Undercard. It is Tuesday night, starting to get those summertime feelings out there in Michigan, and it's starting to warm up, and so that's good. It's good around here.
Yeah, as long as your AC's working.
Yeah. I think we've gotten some really cool thunderstorms too at night too, which is the best time to have them. It's good sleep weather. So today, though, we do have a special boxing guest, somebody that I got to witness in person the other day. Who do we got lined up here, Rochelle?
Donnie Reeves
Donnie Reeves.
from Hannibal, Missouri.
From Missouri will be joining us. And
Missouri.
You'll want to stick around for this young kid.
It's pronounced Missouri.
You'll want to stick around for this little kid, and when I give the introduction about him, you'll understand why. We clearly have to talk about one of the best boxing matches in the last couple years. We'll lead off with that and then go into our interview with Donnie Reeves at about the 7:15 mark. Cody will be coming into studio. Cody Stamen from UFC, our co-host. He may be bringing a guest. If not, he's going to break down the only way Cody can. We're going to talk first about the Pennington thing, about her wanting to quit in her corner, making her go back out for the fifth, and Nunes just pounded on her
Destroying
again.
her.
And then we're going to talk about the other big controversy from UFC down in Brazil. This was the Amanda Bobby Cooper,
Bullshit.
Mackenzie
bullshit.
Dern, 7 pounds overweight.
I
What
thought it was
what he
closer to
means?
like 9.
No, it's 7.
Seven.
It was 7?
Seven.
Okay.
And we'll talk to Cody about that and, his thoughts on that until you get real UFC fighter feedback. But let's start off with my take on possibly one of the better fights in the last 2 years in boxing. I was trying to go back in my mind and think maybe since Provetnikov versus Matisse, I've not seen a fight this enjoyable. The bad thing about this fight is I didn't get to watch it live, so I kind of knew what happened and what transcribed, I guess. Sometimes that's the bad thing about having to cover other events. You miss some epic fights. But Vasily Lomachenko went against Jorge Linares, and what you had was a good fight. And not only a good fight, you had Lomachenko have to dig down deep. He gets knocked down by Linares, and he has to get back up, and then he knocks out by a left hook to the body, Linares, and wins. Like a champ would, gets up and does it again. Now, mind you, when Lomachenko got knocked down, he kind of his butt kind of skidded a little bit on the mat. I don't think he was too hurt. As Teddy Atlas says, right hand kills southpaws, and Vasily is a southpaw. So he gets caught with the right hand, and it kind of just stuns him there. And I thought Teddy Atlas had the best post coverage of the fight. I think Teddy Atlas, when he's on, there's nobody better that can break down a fight. But he gave Jorge a ton of credit, and the fact that he said that timing can beat speed sometimes. And he gave Linares credit that, hey, you know what? He knew that he wasn't going to be as fast as Lomachenko, but if he could get the timing right, he would have an opportunity. And the judges had it even. One had it Linares, one had it Lomachenko, and one had it a draw at the 10th. So this was going to be a very close fight until Lomachenko caught him with a left, and Linares can't get up. But, Teddy Atlas, like I said, best coverage, talks about, where to go here. Everybody's like, let's get a rematch. Let's remember that Linares has had a few losses on his record. And not only has he had a few losses on his record, Lomachenko's the type of fighter that now in his prime, because he had such an amateur background, he would take care of Linares a lot quicker now, this time around. And so as enjoyable of a fight as this is, we don't need a rematch. So everybody's talking Mikey Garcia. And Teddy Atlas, like I said, had the best coverage post this fight. And he made a great point that maybe Linares showed that if Lomachenko was to go up to 140 and fight Mikey Garcia, mind you, Mikey Garcia has a tough fight with Robert Easter. I think he takes care of Robert Easter, but Robert Easter isn't a guy to look past. But I think Mikey Garcia is a better fighter than Robert Easter. But what you have here is that he said that maybe this was a warning sign that, this is as far up as you can go, because Mikey Garcia, I would argue, is right in that conversation for pound number one. Now, everybody's quick to give Lomachenko, because of this fight, automatically the pound for pound number one. He's in the conversation. I just won't go as far to say without a doubt, he's number one. I think Mikey Garcia is somewhere in that conversation, especially with his contract dispute, and he comes back and he's fine. But Lomachenko is amazing to watch. So much fun. Is exactly what boxing needs. Someone brought up a good point that this was actually on TV, so people could watch this fight. They're all on TV. What I meant is that it wasn't a Showtime or a HBO thing. So Linares gave the best fight that Lomachenko could have. Lomachenko was very giving credit mode to Linares, and they said that he was given one more lesson from that overhand right that he took. I thought Lomachenko is very humble always to his opponents, and I thought that was really respectful to say that, hey, it's a boxing lesson. I had to get off the canvas to win by left hook in the 10th. Now, he's an elite company now, though, so this sets a record here. This is his third world championship in 3 divisions, and he did it in 12 fights. The record was 20. But just to give you an idea of what elite company he is in, Oscar De La Hoya did it. So 3 divisions, 3 world championships, so 3 different weight divisions. He did it in 22 fights. Lomachenko did it in 12. Floyd Mayweather had done it before, 34 fights. Manny Pacquiao had done it in his 41st fight. So in 12 fights, Lomachenko now holds a ton of belts in different weight divisions and may meet Mikey Garcia at 140. Although Teddy Atlas, sometimes when Teddy Atlas is so on, I just give him so much credit. He's one of those guys that has forgotten more about boxing than I, will ever know. He might be right. Maybe that's the warning sign there, that you move up to 140 and you're going to get in trouble. You're going to meet somebody that has power, and as a southpaw, the right hand, as Teddy Atlas pointed out, is always a problem. He also said, I'm giving Teddy Atlas a lot of credit here, but he also said that, Lomachenko has the best legs in boxing, but not too far behind is Mikey Garcia. But everybody's jumped on the Lomachenko bandwagon, automatically pound for pound number one, all this and that. You got to get past Garcia, I think, and then we'll talk. And Garcia's in the mix, and Mikey Garcia's got a fight at the Staples Center, July 28th against Robert Easter from Toledo, Ohio. Robert Easter is a guy that I've covered a lot because being from Toledo. But I also know what Mikey brings to the table, and my early pick on that would be Mikey Garcia. I'm fascinated by Mikey Garcia's ability, but as Teddy Atlas said, it would be a timing versus speed thing with Mikey Garcia, and I think Mikey Garcia could figure Lomachenko out. I think it would be a great fight. I'd love for it to happen, and you know what, Jimmy, we needed this because the Canelo tainted meat, all this shit happening. God forbid one of these guys pee not clean, but I think we're safe. We needed something like this in boxing. It was when you were a medic, immune boost or a vitamin shot. Mm-hmm. It's what the sport needed. Right time, right place. 2 marketable guys. Linares. Let's be honest. He's not a world beater, but brought the best fight to Lomachenko. And you know what? Lomachenko won't duck anyone. Got to respect that as a fighter. And you had top-ranked first Golden Boy. Oscar De La Hoya, that Linares that's Golden Boy. And then, Lomachenko with Bob Arum. So, absolutely a lot of dynamic, a lot of cool things going on. People are still talking about it online, which I love to see boxing being talked about. And, it's a win for boxing, but exactly what the sport needed, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Immune boost.
A booster.
A booster. Right,
a booster.
Exactly. A booster.
Immunity booster, but just a booster.
Right, exactly.
So, when you get, it's not so much anymore, but, especially when you were kids, you would get a shot for some inoculation, and then that shot would only last a certain amount of time, and then you would have to get a booster which would then carry you on throughout, whatever. But I think the stuff they use now is better, so you don't need that booster. But yeah, I think that's what you're trying to say, a booster.
Yeah, we got a Lomachenko booster
Yeah.
in the sport, which has been around for hundreds and hundreds in some form, but with the rules that we currently have over
Queensberry
100 years,
rules.
right?
Yeah.
We need a boost occasionally.
Yeah.
The Canelo Golovkin thing was such a mess, and then sometimes people forget that aren't around the sport that there's other boxers out there that deserve as much TV attention.
Yeah.
Really quickly, we want to give a shout out to Tony Harrison, who took care of business with Ishe Smith. One judge, I have no idea what they were watching, but
They were watching their phone.
probably.
Yeah.
There's always that one.
They were watching their phone.
Judge. But you had a situation in which Tony Harrison beat a name, not only a name, out in Vegas, and he's in the mix again at the 154 pound conversation.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
now he's just got to stay there.
yeah. You know what? He's learning.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good because that was the biggest. I don't want to say problem, but the biggest hold up that Tony ever had was that he didn't really ever have a challenge before, and he never lost. Am I correct?
Yeah. So he beat Bronco McCart in he hadn't had a test.
Yeah, so I'm
with
saying
Willie
is,
Nelson.
right.
when
I'm
he came
saying
along.
he didn't really have a test. He kind of eased through his opponents, and it gave him kind of this sense of maybe being a little bit better than what he actually was. And then he came up and he got an awakening. Now some guys can never recover from that. They don't learn. They go back in there. They try the exact same stuff that they tried before because they're like, you know what? It worked for me in the past. This was just a fluke. I'm just going to keep on doing what I was doing. And they can't grow from that. But Tony, he's growing. He's learning. He's growing. He knows what he did wrong. He knows what he needed to work on, and he's doing it. So, yeah, I think this time it's going to stick.
Yeah, I mean, he's ready for that next challenge again, and it's going to be a big puncher.
Yeah.
And we're going to see where Tony Harrison has evolved, and
Yep.
I think he's probably figured out from his losses what he needs to do to continue to win. But we're going to go to our first guest. I want to introduce him as Donnie, the hard-hitting Reeves from Missouri. You're going to like this kid, and stick around for this interview right now. We're going to call him up right now.
Hello?
Hey, Donnie, you're live on the Undercard. How are you?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. We are joined by Donnie Reeves, a 3-1 pro boxer with 2 knockouts. Congratulations. I was very impressed by you. You fought on Second to None Promotions event on Friday night here in
Yes, sir.
Dearborn, Michigan. A couple things I want to tell our audience about you. First off, you were the challenger, whether or not you wanted to admit it. You were coming from Missouri, fighting a kid with a similar record to you up here, and
Definitely.
and you wowed everybody. Tell us a little bit about your fighting background, how old you are, and I'll continue to give you praise because you impressed me.
I'm 18, actually. I signed pro as soon as I turned 17. It's kind of just a rush decision. I was trying to fight an amateur, so I came into it waiting just to put my foot in the water, and then the guys called up and wanted me to fight in Michigan. So that's where this career started. This is where I started on this path.
Awesome. Now, the thing about you is, and this is the best compliment I've probably given in about a year on this show, okay?
Okay.
I cover a lot of boxing. I write a lot of stories, right? A lot of people are not
Yes, sir.
not memorable. I actually have to talk to my partner Bob Ryder or Rochelle, who's with me, have I seen this kid before? Have I not seen this kid before? You put on a performance that I will remember. And that's the best compliment I can give you. I will not forget Donnie Reeves and your power. You got that natural ability to freaking punch. And, you know, you're born with that. And so in the first round, you're going against Jalen Stephenson. And Jalen Stephenson's not a pushover. Up here, he's valued as a pretty good opponent, a pretty good fighter. You guys both connect at the same time in the first round. The difference was you got the better of the exchange, and Jalen goes down in the first round. I don't see you throw a jab most of the fight. You probably only had 10 jabs. They were all power shots. You could tell that you were lining Jalen up for the uppercut, and then sure enough, he walked into it in the fourth, and you caught him flush with an uppercut. And then at the end of the fight, he was literally saved by the bell. He fell into Ansel Stewart's, the referee's hands. You beat him down over 4 rounds. Tell us your evaluation of the fight. You seem like a humble guy, but you know you have power, right?
Yes, sir. I knew I had power. He was clean for a right hand and an uppercut. He came in. He didn't want to move his head. So as I seen that the power option was there, so I was just throwing it down the middle, just taking my time, picking parts that I could just throw power punches. The squad was in my corner. That was the first time working with them guys, and they kept me on my toes. They made sure that I was throwing the right punches and the right combinations. I'm just glad it worked out the way it did. He's a strong fighter. He had a chin on him. It was hard to get to the point where I was at, but like I said, with the squad behind me, it made it a good deal just to be able to throw the combinations and be on time, just be there, you know.
Now, when you have the natural ability to have power in a punch, do you feel like you rely on it a little too much? I mean, like I said, you would know better than me. Jabs weren't too much in your game plan there, or was it something that you adjusted to that you knew that, hey, I'm just winning with, hooks to the body, uppercuts that will lean into. I don't need to throw a jab.
No, I won't take credit for that at all. I did abandon my jab a lot. I wish I'd used it a lot more to set up a lot more punches, but it was just the excitement, the rush. I knew that I was able to do that, so I did lean on it too much. I did lean on the power. That's one thing I need to work on. That's one flaw that I hope to progress as more shows come on, is being able to, work through that jab out, and just throw combinations, be slick. But it was just, I rely on it a little too much, but we're going to fix that. That's just something I got to fix.
Now, you gave credit to your opponent, but where's Jalen's power rank? And I typically, from my experience, when somebody has power like you and you realize their opponent can't hurt you, then it's just you're throwing all your arsenal at them, all right? I mean, you felt what Jalen gave you, felt that there was no danger, and that's when you just start swinging like that, right? Is that a good evaluation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When I got hit, I got tagged pretty hard, but it didn't faze me at all. So from that moment, I knew that anything he put on me, unless it was, connected on the button, it wasn't going to hurt me. So that was the point that I just kind of knew I could level it out and take it down from there.
Now, the other credit to you is that the crowd applauded you. You got to do a brief interview with our good friend Pete Trevino, the MC there, and the way you fought won over a crowd. That typically does not happen in someone's home state like you did. And how good does that feel to get a Michigan welcome being a Missouri boy and knowing that the odds are stacked against you? And then the other question is, how bad did you want that knockout win, because the ref's holding them up at the end?
I mean, it felt great. I love Michigan. I love the crowd. At first, they didn't, welcome me like I thought they would. There was a lot of laughs, a lot of disbelief, thinking I was going to be put out quick. But, as the fight progressed, I won a lot of hearts over, I feel like. And I'm glad, because it made it a lot more enjoyable having somebody behind me, And then the last punch, I feel like, I like Michigan rules. The fourth round saved by the bell, but I feel like it was definitely a knockout.
Right. I mean, the ref is holding him. It's the right call
Right.
within the rules, but he was in trouble. I mean, another 10 seconds, he was out.
Definitely.
So,
sir.
so tell us a little bit about your influences in boxing and stuff. When you have that much power at such a young age, I mean, you've already fought more than most people have at 20, 21. Your team and you, what's your plans? Who do you watch out there? Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
I mean, a big boxer I've been kind of looking at is Lomachenko. He just comes in with speed and power. He's always there. He's in your face. I haven't had a lot of. I mean, I've had a small town trainer. I came from a small town of 17,000 people. Not very many people to look up to. So you kind of got to go to the big stars. Kind of watch Manny Pacquiao. That's my favorite fighter. He got a lot of power behind him. I like the brawling kind of incidents. Boxing, I wish I knew it, but brawling's just my thing. I just like to fight.
No, dude, don't complain about that. You're always going to be a fan favorite, and you're going to get good paydays because of that. Don't complain to ever be about brawler. I mean, maybe find a jab occasionally in case the power thing doesn't work out. You might run into somebody that can handle the power. But right now, it's evident to me that you have power that's going to walk through some people. And you're so young, very, very, very young. There was a rumor that there might be a rematch with Jalen Stephenson here in August. Is there truth to that? And has the promoter already contacted you? And are you going to be coming back to Michigan to maybe have that fight? But at the same time, as much as I want to see you fight, there's no reason because you dominated that fight that you need to rematch that fight. And the promoter doesn't want me to even say that, but I'm just going to tell you, there is no reason. I would rather you fight somebody else from up here, and I'd like to see how you do again.
As of right now, I think the way the team's looking at it is I walk through that fight. Not really easy, but it definitely, I need something. I need to step up, I need somebody different. I need to get my name out. So the rematch, I mean, if something works up with my promoters and they decide to do it, then that'll be it. But as of right now, I think we're just trying to move forward and, find different fights.
What's a lot of money in Missouri? Like
a lot of money?
Yeah, what's a good amount for a rematch?
For a rematch down here? Man.
No. I guarantee you Jalen ain't coming down there. But I'm saying, what would it take to get a rematch? I mean, double the pay that you got? Or, I mean, you're young enough that you could take it. It's not going to kill too much time.
Well,
but
the only thing about it is money in the sport doesn't really mean anything to me right now. Money's little.
You're going to become my favorite boxer, kid.
If I can get my name out by fighting, big fighters and just moving up the rank quicker, and then I can, get to the money. But right now it's about technique and being smart about my career. I just kind of gotta think about everything,
Dang, you're too humble.
Can we adopt you?
Yeah. We like you. You're too you're so humble. I don't know. I mean, you're just a likable guy, my man. Do you have any fights lined up right now?
Not at the moment. I'm planning on going down to Atlanta, Georgia with the squad, training on them in a training camp. We'll see where it's going to go after I get out of there, but that's the plans right now.
And I'm thinking in a map here, Missouri going down. Is that just like an expression? It would be going east, right? Or is that correct?
It's down.
Sorry about that. Yeah, just an expression.
Yeah, no,
It's still down.
Yeah, it's still down. You're right. I was trying to figure it. Atlanta, no, a little bit. No, I mean,
Not Atlantic City.
Gotcha. Well, Donnie, where can people find you?
No, Atlanta. He's going
Yeah, he's still going down.
Georgia.
Facebook is Donnie Reeves, and then on Instagram is Reeves.Donnie. I mean, I don't have very many, other places to follow me or, get at me, but those two you can definitely get it.
Well, Donnie, we want to thank you for joining us for a little bit. Very impressed with your power. Work a little bit more on your boxing so that it sets up your power. But I want to thank you for joining the undercard, and we're going to talk you up a ton. I hope you do come back up to Michigan real soon. If you don't mind, I'm going to keep talking about you so other promoters know about you also.
No, definitely do. I'm glad you guys had me on the show. It was a real pleasure. And I hope to give you guys more shows down there. I hope to be in Michigan soon myself.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you so much, Donnie. Enjoy your win, and then we'll talk to you soon.
You too.
All right. That is Donnie Reeves from Missouri, who put on a show, beating Jalen Stephenson, scoring a knockdown in the first round. Then just, been around the sport a long time. I know those people. He felt, and he admitted it. You feel the other guy's power. Once you realize they can't hurt you, it just becomes an all-out arsenal. He admits that Jalen didn't really have anything he was scared of, and he just kept trying to throw that uppercut, and then sure enough,
It was just fun to watch him.
Yeah, he looks like a Justin Bieber. His hair's
No.
At
the weigh-ins, I seen him come in the door, and I'm like, what's this kid doing here? What's he doing?
Right.
because he did not fit the profile of the boxers that were in that room.
Then he's blessed with lightning
And
bolts
then
in the
he's
hands.
the one who stole the show.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was amazing to watch him.
And
Very exciting.
Jimmy, it's so tough for Michiganders. They are always, we've been robbed, we've been this, we've been that. They totally gave the kid respect.
So he was basically Rocky in Russia.
Kind of on a much lower level. There wasn't a Cold War.
Well, you know what I mean, though.
I know.
But yeah.
And I like that he's
One of the
humble.
crowd up.
I'm thinking the kid's like 14 years old.
Yeah.
I like that he's humble. But the whole thing about him being humble is I'm going to be not humble for him. I'll be the guy out there talking him up. There is really no reason for a rematch except that you would bring the kid in and people get to see the kid again. Shit. I was going to ask him about his one loss and what happened there. But, I mean, he's so young. You could have 4 losses at 18.
But see, he's got it out of the way.
Oh, yeah. But now, if people see what that kid can do, people aren't going to touch him. I mean, they're going to be, like, very hesitant.
What weight class is he at?
What did he fight at?
129 or 135?
But so he's so young, he's going to keep moving up. I mean, you saw him.
Yeah,
It looked like he had no muscle on him.
I know.
But
that's why you're, like...
good.
Like, go ahead. Bet on the other guy.
I know, exactly. And just that utmost, being humble and just knowing that you have that power. I mean, that's just the God-given power. You're like some you can teach, but no, that was just like.
I still want to know, like, what made him choose boxing.
I don't know. We'll have him on again.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I was way off where Missouri was.
Oh no, she's right. It is down right.
Yeah,
I was thinking Atlantic City.
I was in my head when I was picturing it. I was picturing Mississippi as Missouri.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I don't know. I was way off.
Yeah, I lived in St. Louis for a time.
Yeah, I was way off.
I'm gonna tell everybody to get this guy on the card because I just want to keep seeing him fight up here.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
maybe I'll have to venture or Toledo.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
I don't know. We know a few people we could get him on in Ohio.
He's definitely gonna ruin some people's nights.
I know.
That's the thing. Because you look at him, Jimmy. You saw a picture.
I saw a picture of him. Yeah.
Oh my God, not an ounce of muscle on him, and it just like
he looks pretty. I mean, not a lot of muscle.
Like seriously,
but
we were in Detroit, and the kid walked through the door, and I'm like, "What's he doing here?"
He's gonna surprise.
He's
so
someone's
many people,
kid.
dude.
Yeah, I mean,
that's like The Color of Money with Paul Newman when you're betting on the kid. He's Tom Cruise, and you're gonna hustle people in there. You'll be like, you know what? I feel like. I'll take it straight up,
keep him a
but
secret
you're robbing
now.
me, But I'll take it straight up, sure.
We'll tell the promoters on the down low. Be like, you need this kid on there.
Yeah.
And then just watch people lose all their money.
To us.
Exactly.
I don't know, man.
Oh, I love
I'll give you 2-1, but like you're really ripping me up here.
Look at him.
And,
Gosh.
I don't know. And then he'll just like walk through them and stuff. I love the people with the natural punching ability, dude, where it's just like...
He looked mean in there.
Yeah, I know.
He looked like he just wanted to kill him.
Well, once he smelt the blood like a good boxer was, he was, I'm going to press you and just pressure you.
It was an animal. And that's just it. Everyone did, they were just like, woo!
I know. They were happy. So that was Donnie Reeves. Recap on the second to none promotions. You can actually find my article on fightnews.com. 10 fights, 9 went to decision, although that one shouldn't have. Donnie's right, but that is the rule. Mm-hmm. The referee literally caught him, so he
like
catches
him.
Yeah, he catches him. He's literally out on his feet. The referee catches him, but he was saved by the bell, Michigan rules. And but that should have been a knockdown. But you know what? It doesn't even bother him. He's like, whatever, it's a win. So should have been 2 knockouts, but there was only 1 knockout, 9 fights that went to decision, very evenly matched. The Robert Sims versus Curtis Head fight, which was a coin toss, a 50-50. The best thing about the second to none promotions card was that some of the matches I actually went into it not knowing who would win. Surprise, awesome. That's what boxing's about, I thought the Sims Head fight would be close. I thought it was close. I actually had it, and Robert Sims is my boy. I actually probably had Head on a draw there. There was a couple decisions I was, questioning a little bit. But the crazy thing is that it was a good card. It was matched by Aaron Rodriguez
It was a long night.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It was a long night.
When fight cards do not start on time, Brad gets cranky. So, cranky Brad, because I know I'm going to be up at night. And then the next day, there's a story to write.
And
I
then
get
that
super
night,
cranky.
the next night, we also had another fight.
Right, which was Donofrio MMA, which we'll touch on really quick since you brought it up. Donofrio MMA was at Motor City
Harley
Davidson. I've never seen this before, so...
and I only know this stuff because I saw pictures that you guys posted.
I didn't
Not
post
because you
anything.
said, hey, by the way, we have events going on.
Jimmy,
and-
you're always invited.
I know, but I didn't know it was going on until after the fact.
I think I shared it.
No,
I think I shared it.
no. Not with me.
Follow Miss Undercard, Erica Edwards.
She's really good at promoting
And
the
she
events.
promotes everything.
Yep.
That's her job.
I can tell you that our next fight is June 9th at Motor City Casino.
But so you have to remind me at the time.
Oh, see, you're giving me too many rules. I mean, like you...
Because I won't remember. by then.
Actually-
You become like a gremlin. Like there's rules. Don't
Actually-
feed them after midnight. Don't
Our next set of fights is actually May 23rd.
Correct, but that's a private event at the Thrill in the Villa. Yep. Which you could buy. Actually, the Thrill in the Villa has things up for auction for a great cause. They've raised how much money over the years?
Millions.
Millions. I mean, just a great cause to do. But that's May 23rd, and then we go into June 9th.
then
June 15th, WXC just got moved from June 1st, and then June 22nd, Sleeta Promotions,
At
Shields, and then this will be Hammer's American debut, and our ring girls will be there, and that's on Showtime too. And then we roll into July, which Carlos has a show. The way things are going for Kenny Moore and V, second to none. It would not surprise me if we have a show here really soon. So, but what I was gonna say, I've never seen this at Donofrio MMA. It was in their exhibition hall, maybe next to the showroom at Motor City. They had a gate, so they had $10 tickets, and some people had the $10 tickets. You had a gate, and then there was like
Seats.
rows
after
of
that.
people behind that gate looking in at the people that had the seats. It was a good crowd, fun night. It was a good fight weekend. And then on the national scene, we got a lot to talk about UFC when Cody gets here. There was a lot
boxing
of
going on.
shit going on. So it pumps me up. It gives me my immunity boost. All of a sudden I want to talk sports again. Like last week, I'm like, let's talk Marvel. This week, I'm like, hey, we're back. We're back.
Speaking of Marvel, Deadpool 2 comes out.
That's true.
This week. I know.
It's gonna be good, but it has no chance of touching into those records. So it's
Which
like,
records? The
Oh, it won't.
Infinity War
Yeah,
records?
it's not.
Oh
Those
God,
numbers
no!
don't
But
know.
it's not supposed to.
But that's okay.
No, I know.
But that's okay, and that's exactly it. Like Ryan Reynolds was on a thing, and they're like, do you expect, meet or exceed the Infinity War things? He just goes,
Right.
no. He's like, we're not. He goes, if we made 1/8 of what Infinity War is making, we'd be like happy as pigs and shit. I mean, he didn't say that, but he's like, yeah, no. Deadpool is just this little tiny engine that just everybody loves. The fact that everybody loves it makes me happy, But I mean, that was the thing. Is like, no, they're
Ryan
not supposed to.
Reynolds is in that suit.
Well, and also it's because Ryan Reynolds. This is his pet project. He has been wanting to make Deadpool
Well, that's
since.
because he is him.
Well,
And
Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. I mean, he really is Wade Wilson without all the really cool healing factor. But no, he's wanted to make a Deadpool movie since that horrible X-Men Origins Wolverine movie where
he had his mouth sewed shut.
Oh my God, it was terrible. But that one scene where you saw him with the blades and he cut the bullet in half, he trained for months and months for that one scene.
Well, he got some of that training from Blade Trinity. Even
Well,
though
that too,
he
yeah.
badmouths the movie.
Yeah.
It's still
Which is
nice.
also a Marvel movie that people don't realize.
Yep, Blade.
Blade is a Marvel anti-hero. But yeah, I am so excited for that. And then next week is the new Star Wars movie, Solo, which I don't know how I feel about it.
I'm excited.
I'm excited, but I'm hesitantly cautious, and here's why. They started filming. fired the directors, brought in Ron Howard, who I absolutely love. I mean, Ron Howard is, makes great movies, but I'm just worried that there's going to be some incongruity between maybe like this footage was shot with the original directors, this footage was shot with Ron Howard, and they're going to try to like mesh it together, and there might be some unevenness.
I think Ron Howard is professional enough to where he would make it pretty flawless.
And that's my hope. It's just I know that there's been times where it started off with one director, and then they brought in another director, and it felt kind of uneven. So that's my only concern about it. Is my only concern. Solo does have the distinction of being the only Star Wars movie ever made that does not have C-3PO in it.
Oh.
Thank God.
But Anthony Daniels, the man inside the suit, is in the movie.
Okay. Well,
He is going to play a Wookiee that you see for like a brief scene, which makes him the only actor to star in all 10 movies.
Here's my hot take: C-3PO annoying as fuck.
It's
At
okay.
least
But
one
he's
of my
supposed
least,
to be.
That's okay.
One of my least
But
favorite characters.
He's supposed to be, though.
I know.
He's supposed to be that
It's
knowing
It's just rough over 6 movies.
10.
Okay, a lot.
9.
Lot.
9 movies with C-3PO.
40 years, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. And we still don't know why he had a red arm. And then
Do you have to read the comics?
I refuse.
And read the books?
No, that's homework.
No, that's
Tell
not
me,
homework.
tell me in the
It's
movie.
not homework. No.
Tell me in the movie.
No, it's called universe building.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm
Called money
excited.
gouging.
I like the guy who plays Solo. I've
Yeah.
seen him in a few other things. I think he's
Yep.
talented, so I'm excited.
All right, well,
Yeah.
let's go to our first break. Cody's on his way in, and when he
Cody
gets
up?
there... Yeah, Cody up! There he
There he
is!
is.
We're going to go to our first break. Cody just walked in. And then when we come back, we're going to get all the UFC takes from him because he knows his shit.
Yeah.
We had to come back because Rochelle was playing like bubble gum pop, and I refused. I don't
Well,
know
you know
what
what?
that was. It was like mall rock. Mall rock. That was pretty bad. What was that?
That was Little Mix.
Okay. No more of that. So anyways, Cody
picked the
Stamen,
music, so-
co-host of the Undercard, has joined us, UFC fighter. We'll start off overall generalizations about the UFC weekend here, and then we'll move on to more specific stuff after what's on tap at 8. But I came away watching the UFC card after the fact. I was at a MMA event locally. I liked the card. The cards have become consistently good again with the UFC. I like that much of controversy that women can carry a main event now, especially because obviously Brazil, but with Nunes and stuff. But there was a lot of positives to take away from UFC being in Brazil again. Enough upsets, enough injuries, enough everything you want to come out of UFC. And I don't root for anyone to get injured, but just enough storylines came out of this that it was a pretty good
drama.
card. Right, drama.
The drama
That's what
was
sells
there.
news, though.
It
I
is,
mean,
it sells. It sells.
the fight game would be boring if there was no
And the
drama.
finishes, that's what you want to see as a fan. I think people want to see guys going out there and putting it on the line and getting finished or getting the finish, I mean, that's what the sport's all about. I mean, look at someone like Mike Tyson.
Yep.
He either got knocked out or knocked the guy out. And that's what people want to see.
Or got crazy in there and bit someone's ear.
Or it's a biter.
Well, what'd you think overall, Cody, of the card?
I thought it was a great card. So I watched the Lomachenko fight and then flipped the UFC on.
And the Lomachenko fight was awesome, too, with
Yep.
Linares.
That was a good fight. That was a really good fight. I love that guy. I love Lomachenko. He's sweet. And
Got off
then-
the mat and came back and took
he
care of business.
Got dropped. I was literally just talking like I was had a couple people over and we were watching it and I was like, yeah, this guy, he's so good. He never gets hit. Boom, he just got dropped. Like, oh shit. What's
It
he
was
gonna do?
okay. His butt skidded across the mat and he was already got back.
He did get popped, but he was off balance more
Yep.
than you know what I mean. Like I don't think he was like knocked out or it was only a flash knockout where he hit the canvas and woke up, nothing like that. But yeah, and then the Bellator. I was watching King Mo and Ryan Bader fight. That lasted all of 15 seconds.
Bader come running over and
Throw one left hook and
Yep, boom.
fight's over. You gotta wonder if King Mo has any tissue holding his brain in his head anymore. I think as soon as he gets touched, he just goes to sleep. That happened in Japan too. I watched him get put out pretty fast.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like one shot. It's not good to see that, especially being a fighter. It's scary stuff. But the UFC card, was awesome. Yeah, girls main eventing and putting on an awesome show. There were definitely some funny stuff going on that card though.
I know.
Like it's crazy. Like you have all these finishes and all this crazy stuff. Vitor Belfort getting hit with another front snap kick in the face. Same shot that Anderson, literally the exact same kick, same leg, same everything, same setup that Anderson Silva hit him with years ago. Seeing that again, and you figure that should have probably been the headline of that card. That should have been all over the place in the news, but instead it's Pennington,
Dern, Mason weight.
yeah, and Dern missing weight. That was the highlight of that whole thing. And then the debate, well, Amanda would have won if she would have made weight. I'm
Yeah, we'll get in those specifics after what's on tap, but let's start off with Nunes. Let's just start big topics and work our way down. Is there anybody in the UFC that could even touch Nunes, or is it somebody outside the UFC that, because she looks pretty dominant, looks comfortable at that weight. It would have to be a catch weight with Cyborg if that fight happened. And really, that's probably the only thing out there for her. Do you see anybody in the 135, or I mean,
I think she should just move up, fight her at 45, fight Cyborg at 45. She's a big girl, and they're both good size.
you won't meet
They're
her at
pretty-
140 and force Cyborg down?
I don't think so. No, I don't think that. I think because then it's kind of a bullshit it's not a real weight class. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
they need to fight at a definitive 35, 45. There's not a 140-pound weight class. I don't think they should fight there. But I'd be really interested to see that fight, and that'd be a super fight that females could have. And like I said, they're both. I mean, I'm going off of just being around them at events, but I feel like they're both pretty similar in size. You know, I think Cyborg's a little thicker, but, you know, Nunes is not a small girl. She's got a big frame. You know, she's taller than me. She's got broad shoulders. They're both, you know, obviously yoked out of their minds. I don't know, it'd be a fun fight to watch.
Now,
Stylistically, they both throw down, so it'd be fun to watch.
Now, as talented as Nunes is, because she's so respectful and you know, she's like the opposite of Conor McGregor. You can tell that UFC's having problems marketing her, even though she is a main event. You know, in the language barrier, and there's always been a thing for me, and I could be out of line, you can call me here. I just think they have problems marketing Brazilians to, like, I think they would definitely want, I mean, if she was from Irish, if she was from Ireland and Irish, because of the lack of the language barrier and maybe the cockiness, it's a little easier for UFC. But Nunes is so good and so respectful, I think it gets difficult sometimes to market that.
So I'm thinking that she probably doesn't get marketed very well here, but I think in Brazil, she gets marketed like Conor McGregor does. You know what I mean? Like Conor McGregor in Ireland. I think that it's just she can't really relate to American fans, so they don't dump a bunch of money into advertising her fights around here. But you know, in Brazil, I think, you know, that's where they're dumping all their marketing money. Obviously, you know, that fight was in Brazil. You know, I think the Brazilians, they like that respectable, like, you know, I'll beat the shit out of you and shake your hand before and after I do it kind of mentality. So I bet you they do market her really, really well there, because she kind of is a star. And the same thing with like Mackenzie Dern. You know, the only difference, because they're both super respectful, super nice. You know, Dern can speak a little bit of English. I'm still broken English, just like Nunes, who speaks broken, even worse English. But Mackenzie Dern's really good looking. that's the real difference. That's the real difference. So I think she gets pushed more in America because we can relate to that.
Yep.
Like, yeah, well, she doesn't speak English, but she's hot. So that's good.
Damn it, you speak American.
That's what I like.
We were at an event with Dan Severin, obviously UFC legend, blah, blah, blah. But I started thinking this, and this is, dude, I'm just all about hot takes today. I'm gonna ruin
I love Dan Severn. I got to train with him
Okay, well, I'm gonna
years ago.
gonna ruin that friendship right now for you here, buddy. There's no way those old guys could compete against the new guys.
way.
Because
Oh, God,
they're
no.
cross-trained. Like,
No. No. I didn't mean. I didn't.
Because the sport's.
I didn't mean as a fighter. He's just a really nice guy.
There's nothing he can do about it, but
Yeah. No.
the new guys would run through him.
Oh yeah.
Hypothetically, and it happens in every sport. You see it in every sport. I mean, like the old school, like, badasses in wrestling, you know, that were like a national champion in 1990, would get smoked by every kid on the roster nowadays.
Yeah. Right.
Just the evolution of
Yeah.
the game, and that's not their fault. That's not anyone's fault. It's just, you know, and in 10 years, I won't be able to compete with the guys that are, you know, in the UFC, because they're going to be
Training since they're 10 in the sport.
they're going to learn
Well,
MMA
not only
for
that.
MMA. You know what I mean? They're going to be so well versed in everything that you have to be in fighting. They're going to, you know what I mean? They're training right now. Like right now, those kids are pre-puberty, you know, fighting MMA. Like they're going to be absolute fucking wild animals when they hit the ripe age of 18. It's going to be insane. And hopefully I'll be retiring by then.
Now, the only fight I'd want to see if we had a time machine, if we had that DeLorean, we could fire it up. I'd like to see Dan Severin versus Ben Askren. Because both can't finish and both were good wrestlers. It would be interesting to see, because I never saw Ben Askren lose more than like 10 seconds of a fight wrestling, but he couldn't finish anyone. And that's why the UFC wasn't there in his war with Dana White. But
Ben Askren would kill him.
It's possible. But it would be the two best wrestlers.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it.
I don't know, because
Wrestling
Dan's
evolves
just a.
too.
Well, wrestling evolves too, but Dan is just a beast of a man. I
But
mean,
I love Ben Askren. I never
I
saw him
know.
in trouble.
I just, oh.
He is bigger. He is bigger, but I'm pretty confident Ben Askren will beat him.
Ben Askren is pretty badass. That would be the fight
I-
I'd want to
it's
see.
really-
You're going back to the evolution thing, though.
Yeah.
So they competed 10 years apart, basically.
Right.
They were in their prime 10 years apart. So you
Right.
got to figure in
Well, that's just it.
wrestling.
You have to put everybody in their prime.
Right.
Everybody in their
Well,
prime
everybody
to
in their
compete.
prime and everybody at the same time period.
in their prime, but
Yeah.
there's still 10 years of evolution that happened.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So you would have to do Dan Severn with the 10 years of evolution of wrestling versus Ben Askren at the same point in time. Same age, same point in time, same everything.
That was the only fight I walked away after I talked to Dan again. I'd be like, that would be the one I'd want to see happen. You know,
There's a couple of them I'd want to see.
I'd want to see him fight the current heavyweight champ, Stipe Miocic.
oh my God,
Yeah.
Stipe. Oh boy.
I just like as a comparison for people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
To get a real comparison. Like Chocolate Doll's talking about fighting John Jones right now. That's all over. I'm like, why is that relevant? Why are people entertaining that? You know, one, John Jones has been suspended. Like, he's suspended for the rest of his life. Like, why are we even talking about
Yeah.
him? And Chuck
And he's
Liddell,
off the radar too right now.
And Chuck Liddell, I mean, Jesus. Like, are you serious? He's been retired for, what, 10 years?
He's doing movies. I mean,
Yeah.
It's probably about money still though.
I mean, yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
It's you know.
you
why not?
can't.
If it makes money, it makes sense in this business.
I know, but
they could sell that fight.
10-year retirement, you ain't coming back.
The
from that.
Iceman coming back maybe.
The return of John Jones, the abuser, and Chuck Liddell should have retired a long time. Should not be coming back. That should be the headline of this fight.
Yeah.
Like, this fight is very unhealthy for both these people.
Yeah. And have the drug test waiting for
Yeah.
them right as soon as they get out.
Well,
of the
no,
cage.
you do it like whatever you need to get through the match.
Every day.
You let them do whatever they want so they can get through the match. Because Chuck Liddell's going to be taking like steroids and shit just so like his shoulder don't pop out.
So-
John Jones is going to be lubed up anyways.
So when I got thrown into the sport, you were either Liddell or you were Ortiz.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I mean, that was,
Yeah.
God, it was almost like
Bring Tito back.
bring Tito
Bring
back.
Tito back.
He's still.
Jeez.
He's probably gonna
He's
fight
training.
again for Bellator.
He's horrible, though.
Yeah.
gonna fight
I
again
never
for
liked
Bellator.
Tito. I mean, I liked the rivalry they had, but I never liked Tito. I didn't like him as a fighter. I didn't like him as a person. He just, I didn't
As
think.
someone who dated Jenna Jameson, I didn't like him then.
Not even that, but I thought he was a whole lot of hype for a whole lot of little nothing.
Oh, here's an honest question, though. Rochelle, close your ears. Have you watched more footage of Jenna Jameson or Tito Ortiz in your lifetime?
Jenna Jameson, for sure. By far.
How about you?
Not even a question.
I would hope so.
Honestly, I'd have to say Tito Ortiz because I'm not a Jenna Jameson fan.
I'd say even.
I'm not a Jenna Jameson fan either, but I'm really
She
not
was on
a Tito
everything.
Ortiz fan.
Well, but I'm saying,
Right.
but I'm just saying. I think
You couldn't avoid her.
with the
I would say
fight,
I've seen more of her than I have of Tito Ortiz.
I didn't say, but with the fight, because I watched like religiously. I watched like especially because
Porn.
Me too. We all have that phase in our life.
because Tito Ortiz versus Chuck Liddell was right around the time that I was in the sport. So I was watching them a lot because that was like the big names in the sport, and and I was watching their fights for different tips, different tricks, different whatever. But
When was that? What year did you say that was?
that would have been 2004.
I didn't even know MMA existed at that time.
Yeah.
A very primitive state.
Yeah, 2000. I was trying to think because I started
How young
MMA
You would have been how old?
in 2004. How old would you have been?
I was told there'd be no math, but let's figure this out.
Takeaway 14.
15 or 16?
15 or 16.
15 or 16? Yeah, because I was
14?
in my late 20s.
14.
And I was because it was 3 years before I joined the military is when I started training.
All right.
So yeah,
See, I
started
remember
about
like King of the
2004.
Cage. I remember.
That was like before that.
But I
Yeah.
remember my ex-father-in-law was watching it, and I was just like, why are they like throwing each other into
Yeah.
these
So-
like, fences?
Yeah. So actually, the dojo that I trained out of, when UFC was just a brand new thing, I think it was like UFC 3 or UFC 4 or something like that. One of the guys that had trained at the dojo was fighting Tank Abbott.
Oh yeah.
And the sensei said, you know, whatever you do, don't let him hit you. Like, run around, you know, duck and weave, whatever you got to do. Don't get out there and try to slug with this guy. He's going to knock you on your ass. And, you know, and the thing with Tank was he had a very small tank.
He was a weight version of Kimbo Slice way
Right.
before Kimbo Slice.
But then
if you caught you were down.
If you caught, you were down, but
he
all
could
you
be
had to do
exposed.
was run around a little bit, and he would put his hands on his knees and just start breathing. And
They listed him as a pit fighter. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
underground fighting or
But
something.
anyways, so
yeah.
so that's what the sensei said, and there's a video of it too. I don't remember the guy's name, but you just watch the guy like completely ignores sensei, goes out there, tries to stand toe to toe with Tank. Tank gets him up in the cage, hits him with an overhand right. The guy collapses in this just horrific like twisted body thing like on the ground. If I ever find the video, I'll show it to you guys. But I mean, just boom, and just like a rag doll, just collapsed and like head like tilted
No,
to
you
the
showed
side.
it to us over the 4 years.
Oh,
Yeah,
did
I've
I?
seen that,
Okay,
yeah.
I don't think I've showed Cody though.
But
Yeah.
Stipe would take care of him in 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like Cody brings up a good point, and it's the same with baseball though. Like I honestly, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Babe Ruth would suck nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Like he there's no way you could even get the bat around
No.
on some of these pitches
No.
now and stuff. And the sport
It's the evolution of the
evolves. I mean,
sport. Yeah,
shit,
exactly.
Hoist Gracie was allowed to wear a gi into the fucking
Yeah.
thing. You know what I'm saying? Cody, if
Yeah.
you could wear whatever you wanted into there, I mean, that would just be
Speedo.
crazy.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you know, the sports evolved so much. All right, do what's on tap because
All right.
I got a million questions to ask this kid.
All right.
I hope everyone from my special
All right.
is listening.
This is What's on Tap, sponsored by Falling Down Beer Company. Starting May 19th, at Toronto on Showtime, we have Adonis Stevenson versus Badu Jack. 12 rounds for Stevenson's WBC light heavyweight title. At Oxon Hill in Maryland on Showtime, we have Gary Russell Jr. versus Joseph Diaz Jr. 12 rounds for Russell's WBC featherweight title. Leeds, England, Showtime, Facebook, and on YouTube. We have Lee Selby versus Josh Warrington. 12 rounds for Selby's IBF featherweight title. Montera, Colombia. We have Liliana Palmera versus Yasmin Rivas. 10 rounds for Palmera's WBA women's junior featherweight title. And I believe that's still the same date. In Alicante, Spain, we have Mark Vidal versus Kiko Martinez. 12 rounds for Vidal's European featherweight title. And on May 20th at Tokyo, we have Ryoichi Taguchi versus Heke Budler. 12 rounds for Taguchi's WBA IBF junior flyweight title. We also have Hiroto Kiyoguchi versus Vince Haraz. 12 rounds for Kiyoguchi's WBF strawweight title. Moving on to MMA. Let's see. May 19th, we have UFC Fight Night 129, Maya versus Usman. That is in Santiago, Chile. And I believe that was, yeah. So just a couple of things, because I love some of the titles they come up with for some of these MMA shows. So we have on May 18th, Combate Americanas, Mexico versus the world.
Nice.
And that is in Baja, California.
I think I know who's gonna win.
May 18th, we have Brutal Genesis Fight Night back in the Barn 11. That is in the Boone County Fairgrounds, Boone, Iowa.
It's probably got a rich history.
Boone County.
Boone County, yeah.
Like when you know you're a redneck. I'm from Boone County.
I'm from Boone County. And then Pancrase 296, Udea versus Silva, and that is in Tokyo, Japan. And that's What's on Tap, sponsored by Falling Down Beer Company.
All right, we're back. So we're talking UFC down in Brazil this past weekend. Great fight weekend, as Cody pointed out, as I pointed out. Great boxing. The Lomachenko fight, obviously. We were talking a little bit of Bellator and Ryan Bader. And now, let's get to the main event. The big controversy with the main event was Pennington, who clearly was getting beat down by Nunes. And in between the fourth and the fifth round, she says she can't continue. She doesn't want to continue. Probably at that time, Pennington seems to me, I've never met Pennington, but it seems to me a tough combatant, probably knows her body, says that she can't continue. Instead of giving some technical advice or anything, her corner kind of gives her a little pep talk to send her back out there, and Nunes just piles on her again. First off, Cody, as a fighter, what's your take on this? You also corner people. Pennington comes into her corner. It looks like the nose is broke.
Situation, she's down 4 rounds to nothing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Does it, wouldn't that everyone would say she didn't win around that fight?
Yeah, and she's getting hurt bad.
Right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in boxing, if you're getting beat those 4 rounds, that would be like, compared, like, it's the 10th round, you got 2 rounds left, you've lost all 10 rounds. Your coach is going to be like, in boxing, I got to pull the plug, kid. You know what I mean? You see
Live
it,
to fight another day.
you see it earlier. You know what I mean? You see it earlier in boxing matches. It's like, you don't need to take any more damage. You're clearly not going to win. You know what I mean? You don't have a prayer. We got to stop this. You know, and I think that a wise coach would say that. It's the coach that should make that call. The coach shouldn't be, the fighter definitely shouldn't be saying that. And if the fighter is saying that, I mean, it's obviously the coach's job to respect the fighter's opinion or the fighter's decision. I mean, because she's not a wimp. You know what I mean? It's not like she's a wimp for saying, I don't think I can go anymore. I think it's just like she can't be a wuss to be in the sport. You know, just to be an MMA fighter means that you're above average in the like toughness department. Period.
Right.
You know, it's a brutal sport. So I mean, people, you know, were saying a lot of bad stuff about her, but it's like, come on, like, it's not like, you know what I mean? It's like calling a soldier that ran from someone that was shooting at him, like, oh, I wouldn't have ran. You know, it's like, come on.
Right.
Are you serious? Well, let me show you. See what happens. You
Right.
know, like.
She doesn't have a mirror. She doesn't know. She knows her face.
Coach should have said, "Okay, we're done."
Yep.
That's it. You know what I mean? You don't. If a fighter wants out, I mean, that's like I said. You can lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink it. If a fighter wants out, you gotta get him out. Period. Like it. You know, at any point, if a fighter told me, like, you know, if a fighter said to me, like, "Hey, I broke my hand," and they were in the fight,
Chance of winning.
a chance of winning. They got a chance of winning.
Yeah.
I would say, don't let them see it. Don't let them see it. Fake, feint. Give them some technical advice. Get back out there and let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, your hand's broke. It's probably not getting any worse. Like, don't throw it. Use it as a shield. You know what I mean? I've been in that situation. My corner wasn't like, quit. Gotta get you out of there. You know what I mean? Like, I sat down and said, I broke my hand. Okay. A lot of fakes and feints. You use your kicks. You know what I mean? Make it seem like your hand's not broke. Don't let them see it. Okay. You know, that's a different situation. That's like I could have still won, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I was getting my ass beat. Maybe if I was getting my ass beat and I couldn't defend myself with that hand, it would have been the corner's job to throw the towel in, whether I liked it or not. I mean, that's what they're there for.
Right.
You know what I mean? To give you advice and keep you safe, period. Like, and, you know, our coaches really let her down, and I would 100% fire my coaches if I was her.
So that's from a fighter and a guy that actually cornered. Just, I'm going to give you a media perspective, and Jimmy can give his perspective. My perspective on it is that when you send her out like that, you're opening the window of how long she's going to be out. Like, she's going to get more damage. Like, I mean, orbital bone, the nose looked already broke. Like, I mean, she was just getting lit up. So you're actually, like, almost extending the time she's going to be off for injuries by sending her back out there when she has no chance versus Nunes. You know, her face looked like a wreck. She doesn't have a mirror to know what it looks like, but she clearly, she knew something was wrong. She just wasn't there that night. Like, get me out of here, get me out of here. She's not on the level as Nunes, and might never ever be. But my take is like yours, is that she belongs as a professional fighter. She's tougher than me, Jimmy, Rochelle. The only one not in the room she's not tougher than is you. And here's the thing. She probably wants to fight again sometime this year, and you sending her out there again when she's getting that badly beat, and then guess what Nunes did? Hurt her more in the 5th round. You're really endangering her income. Not only that, her chances of fighting anytime soon.
Her longevity in
Right.
life.
There's only so many of those fights you can have in your career.
Having fights like that takes years off your life. You got to know that.
Right. And so I was disappointed in that regard. It's tough to know if she'll fire her staff and stuff. And then the most alarming thing is, instead of giving some technical advice of how she could maybe have submitted Nunes or maybe kind of came back, it was just a go out there. And
Pep talk.
yeah, that was it.
Wasn't time for the pep talk though.
Right. And
If
fighters,
If she wouldn't have been saying that she wanted out, I don't think I can go. I don't think I can fight. If she had just stood there and been like, I'm down 4 rounds, and her coach should have been like, all right, go out there and commit suicide this round.
right.
That's all you can do. Just look to get the finish you need to finish. That's what you say. If they're down, their only chance to win is to get a knockout or a submission. You say that. Or, I was just in Italy with Jason Fisher, and we had that we were in that situation. He wasn't hurt, nothing wrong. And, he sat down, and I was like, you're down 2 rounds. You have to knock him out this round. You have to knock him out. I know. Okay, say it to me again. You have to knock him out. I have to knock him out. I'm like, okay, go knock him out. You know what I mean? That's the advice. That's the advice that I have given more than one person. Like say it back to me. Know that you have to do it. Say it back. Say that you know you have to, you know what I mean? Make sure that they know that's what has to happen. And her coach maybe could have said that, not you can do it. It's okay. Change your mind.
You don't
change
mean
your mind. You're okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You're okay. Oh my God.
No one's ever going to question Pennington's heart.
I would just be like, you know what? You're fired. You just get out of here. Take that stuff off. Take that Reebok stuff off. And leave.
At that time, I was trying to think. She could have spit out her mouth guard. She kind of did still have control, because all she has to do is turn around to the ref and say, I'm done, right?
She could have, yeah. She could have pulled herself out, but in boxing...
You're looking for your corner to protect you, though.
In boxing, who stops the fight?
Yeah.
Your corner man or you?
Corner with the towel.
Your corner throws the towel in.
Yeah.
Even if
should have protected her.
You whisper in his ear, I can't fight anymore. You know what I mean? Your corner man stops the fight. It's kind of a shield to help fighters not look like they were trying to get out.
Right.
Your corner takes it. You know what I mean? And then I've seen it happen where a boxer, kind of single to his corner man, I can't. I'm done. You know what I mean? I'm done. And the corner man throws a towel in, and the boxer's sitting there come on, man. You're like, what? It's not like a show. Why'd you do that? And he just gives him a hug. It's okay. It's okay. And then they ask him about it. Yeah, my coach didn't think I'd go anymore. But really,
live to fight another day.
There was a little acting, little play going on, because you don't want the fans to think that you wanted out of a fight. That's kind of taints your image a little bit, and that's it sucks that they literally got that on camera. Her saying that that's messed up. I feel bad for her. I feel bad that she was put in that situation.
Jimmy, your thoughts?
Well, my whole thing is, too, aside from all that, is your corner doesn't know what's going on in your body. And your body will tell you if something's wrong. And it could be just something's wrong. You don't know what it is. There's just something wrong with how you're feeling. You just don't feel right. You don't think you can go on. You just don't feel right.
At that time, I don't even know if she was seeing Nunes, because her right eye was swollen.
I know, but so you don't know what's going on in that person's body. She could have had, some major thing going on. She could have had a heart arrhythmia. She could have had an hemorrhage in her head. There's so many things that could have been medically wrong with her that all she is saying is, I don't think I can go on, which is her body telling her, she might not even understand why she can't go on. She just knows that she can't. And for the corner to say, no, get out there and keep going or whatever, thank God nothing happened to her, but what if it did? What if she said, I don't think I can go on, Nunes hits her one more time, and she's in a coma?
Yeah.
Because her corner made her go back out there. It's ridiculous. If the fighter says, I can't continue, you stop the damn fight. You throw in the towel, you stop the fight. Period. Doesn't matter what you think is going on. If your fighter says, I don't think I can go on, you stop the fight.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's going on. Like I said, it's not a matter of willpower, because you don't get, like Cody was saying, you don't get to that level if you don't have willpower.
Yeah, she doesn't need a pep talk. She already has the heart.
Right, exactly. So her body could have been telling her that there was something wrong, but she didn't even understand it. You know what I'm saying? Again, thank God nothing happened, but it could have. And what kind of an asshole would her corner be if that happened? If your fighter says, I don't think I can go on, for whatever reason, you stop the fight, period.
Right.
That's it. That's it.
The other big story, first off, good job by UFC. The Embedded series was awesome. 7 episodes. Did you watch them, the Embeddeds? So the Embedded is like the shorter versions of the 24/7 unboxings and behind-the-scenes stuff. But they followed storylines going up. And one of the storylines that they followed was Amanda Bobby Cooper versus Mackenzie Dern. Obviously, Mackenzie's fighting in Brazil. Not only is that, Mackenzie comes from a strong Brazilian jiu-jitsu background. Lots of sponsors, lots of... I remember seeing her on Brazilian jiu-jitsu magazines way before she was even trying to train and become an MMA star. And so they followed this whole storyline of Amanda Bobby Cooper and Mackenzie Dern. And early on, Amanda Bobby Cooper doesn't believe that Mackenzie Dern's going to make weight. And sure enough, she doesn't. She's 7 pounds overweight. Whether or not she even tried, I don't know. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. Because whatever her game plan was, here's the thing you got to remember, all right? And I was telling somebody this the other day, and I've been in the fight game for a long fucking time. No one's going to remember Mackenzie Dern was 7 pounds overweight in 2 months from now. They'll just remember that she rocked Amanda Bobby Cooper and she won by rear naked choke. Those little details slip away. No one remembers that crap. They just remember who beat who. Okay, so 7 pounds overweight. Then the question becomes, if you're Amanda Bobby Cooper, do you even take the fight? We're going to ask Cody, our fighter. Obviously they thought they had a chance to win. They do get 30% of her purse for missing weight. Mackenzie catches her with almost like a wild right. Rocks her, gets her on the ground, stretches her out, gets the rear naked choke, and it's over pretty quickly. First off, Cody, your opponent's 7 pounds overweight. You obviously think you can beat him. That's why you're there. What's going through your head? Do you make the fight happen? Do you take the fight still? What's going on?
I'm thinking, show me the money. My opponent comes in overweight, I'm going to be, jumping up and down, oh, hell yeah. You know what I mean? I don't care. Let's be honest. Let's be realistic. 7 pounds is a lot of weight to be over. Anywhere else but Brazil, that fight would have never happened.
No, in the U.S. it can't.
Couldn't have happened. They would have had to try to make it a catch weight. Just not too long ago, John Dodson was fighting Pedro Munoz.
Yeah.
And he came in 6 pounds overweight, 5 or 6 pounds overweight. Dodson said no. The UFC kind of frowned on that. It's who's right? If I was in the situation, I would fight, because that's what I was there to do. Anyways, I did too much preparation, too much time, too much money, too much everything being spent, going forward, looking for... honestly, if I was her, I would have just been I'll weigh in 5 pounds more. I cut a ton of weight to make 35. I'm not scared of anybody being bigger than me, you know what I mean? And ultimately, I think Amanda Bobby Cooper cuts a ton of weight, too. I think she gets pretty big in her off-season. I don't think it's a legitimate excuse. I don't think the weight is a legitimate excuse. You know, and ultimately she had the choice. It was. I mean, people are gonna hate me. I mean, their whole team already hates me, so it's kind of irrelevant. But I mean, ultimately, it's in her court. She can say yes or no. Obviously, there's probably a lot of people in her ear going, yes, 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 yes. But you know, ultimately it's her decision, and the fact that she decided to fight, you know, I think it was the right thing to do. But you can't say yes and then go back and be like, well, she was 7 pounds overweight. No one wants to hear fucking excuses. No one likes excuses. Nobody wants to hear excuses. You can say whatever you want. I could tell you that my last fight, I tore cartilage in my rib, and you guys know that because I came in here like messed up. I can't.
You were icing every day, dude.
I can't hardly move. You know what I mean? Like I'm hurting really bad. If I'd have went out there and lost that fight and been like, well, I was messed up. I should have probably not even fought. People been like, well, you did, and you lost. So.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Your injury or any of your excuses or anything, that shit doesn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not training to be the best in your best day. You're training to be the best in your worst day. You got to be, you know, in this fight game, there's all these variables and these things that you can say and do, but it doesn't matter at the end of the night, like you said earlier. Wins and losses, that's it. That's the only thing that matters.
No one will remember the 7 pounds.
No one
Give it
gives
2
a
months.
shit.
Around here, they will.
No one gives a shit. Yeah, they'll be talking about it forever. Yeah, by the time.
But on a
like,
national level,
it's like
people forget that stuff.
It's like that old, Napoleon Dynamite. Coach would have put me in, I'd have been all state. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no one gives a shit.
That's got to be a drop.
Nobody's saying. No one
That over
gives.
there, that mountain.
I throw football over there mountains. Yeah, if Mackenzie Dern would have made weight, I'd have killed her. Now, I can't say that. Like,
Now-
it's too late.
Now, so you being a fighter, I'm just going to ask you because I mean this is a national story. It's not. We're not covering this right now because we know Amanda Bobby Cooper. It's local, but this Mackenzie Dern thing, Yahoo posts that hey, a star has been born. This and stuff. This was a big moment. My take. Tell me if I'm wrong. If she was to grind out a win. And it just looked like she had a little bit more energy than Amanda Bobby Cooper. You could say, well, you know what? The mental and the physical fatigue of a weight cut, Mackenzie Dern didn't go through. But because it was, hey, pretty quick, knockdown, which that, to me, doesn't have anything to do with weight, that punch, and then stretching her out for the rear naked choke, it doesn't allow for the weight excuse. Am I correct?
I mean, do you think that if she made weight, that punch wouldn't have hurt her?
That's what I'm saying.
I know, but I'm just saying it in a different way. You know what I mean? Like ultimately, like you got cracked. You know what I mean? You got hit with a hard shot, and then you were unable to defend yourself on the ground. You know what I mean? In Mackenzie Dern and Amanda Bobby Cooper's defense, Mackenzie Dern is legit on the ground. She's really good. Her jiu-jitsu's perfect. Like what she did and the way she sunk that choke in, and the way she like flipped her hips to mount, like it was like textbook.
The stretch was like just brutal, actually.
Yeah, I mean, she like as soon as they touched the ground, it was like clearly there was huge advantage there for Mackenzie Dern, and I mean I had to have known that going in. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a legit excuse, and I just think, you know, it's like one of those things. It's just human nature. You want to be like, well, you want to blame it on something. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to just believe that, you know, that person's better than you. You want to blame it. I mean, you can have all excuses in your own mind, but as soon as like don't say anything about it. You know what I mean? Especially in this sport. Like anytime you say anything, like anytime you try to like make yourself seem like a victim, people are gonna attack you. Right. Especially as an athlete, as a fighter. Like if you make an excuse, like if a football player, a quarterback throws an interception, he says, well, you know, he's supposed to run a different route. People are gonna jump on him. Like the haters are gonna be like on Twitter, just like you suck, you're an asshole, this and this. And I've learned that the hard way. I literally was like, you know, I felt like you know, Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier kind of.
Cormier was after you for a while.
I thought they were biased, blah blah blah, and people were just like, it was just pages of like, this kid's a pussy, like this, and I was reading it like, oh man, I'm never doing this again.
You never read your own press.
Oh, I loved it.
I mean, seriously,
I was dying laughing.
That being said, UFC does have a star now, apparently, in Mackenzie Dern, and good looking. Not only good looking, was an impressive win over Amanda Bobby Cooper, but she does have a problem. She can't make weight, and so she's going to
missed it
twice. So now she's going to UFC Performance Center to learn. Which, I mean, there's the best.
They're good.
But like you said,
They're really good.
This fight would have not happened anywhere in Brazil. So she's got to learn the art of cutting weight. But I do tell you this.
Brad's new book.
What, the art of
The
cutting
art
weight?
of cutting weight, yeah.
Oh, dude, Cody could do. I mean, Cody looks like Skeletor, like wrapped up like in blankets when he sends like little. He'd be like, "I'm okay."
There's a science behind it.
Yeah.
He writes it, you ghostwrite it, you publish it.
Yeah.
There we go.
You
It's
write
his words.
I'll write it. You spend a few years editing it.
Right.
Try to pass it over to me to edit.
Yeah,
Right.
try to make it legible. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah. That would
Add
be
some flavor
That
to
would be
it.
the ultimate insult to me, though. After his career, when he's writing his autobiography, if he knew me, media, his
Yeah.
whole life, and I wasn't asked to help him,
Yeah.
he'd be like,
Yeah.
"No, I asked Mitch Album." I'd be like, "Okay, that's cool." And Mitch is a good writer. That's good. I'd be like, but a tear would cry. I'd be like, little tear. But no, there is an art to it, and she's got to learn that. I do tell you this, you know, for her, it is a win by submission, but we know it's the right hand that actually won it. So like, people were concerned with her stand up. It might be slow and over delivered, but big catch, ABC, and so if that part of her game, obviously, like as Cody said, she was high here, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's how quick the striking and the kicking can get up there. Maybe a force to be reckoned with. I don't know. I mean, Darren's amazing at kicking and striking.
Yeah, he is.
And you know, you're better at punching. I think Cody's better, or Darren's better at kicking. But your stand up with your hands has gotten amazing. How quick would it take Dern to get up to a level where she could compete against people that are really good strikers?
in her weight class
Yeah.
at 115. Who's
I mean-
the 115-pound champ?
I don't know.
Rose?
I'll have to go look it up. I have to look it up because I'm
Rose
not
Namajunas?
positive.
Yeah, I believe so.
And Joanna? All right, that's the same weight class, right?
Yeah, I
Rose?
believe. So then you got.
I don't know who you're asking.
I'm asking everyone.
UFC.
No, he's right. I'm trying to think.
I'm pretty sure it's
the next,
Rose, and to be on that level, to be as good as like Rose Namajunas, I mean, she's gonna have to work her butt off. She's gonna put jiu-jitsu. takes a
Joanna is
Yeah.
it right now.
No. She's lost. Rose.
Yeah,
is
Rose,
it.
Rose,
is
and
it.
yeah. So it's the same.
You're like
weight
on
class.
Wikipedia from 2
That's
years
like
ago.
115.
No,
So
I'm looking at.
No, she isn't. It's Rose.
it's definitely Rose, but
Thug Rose.
it would take a long time for her to get to that level because Rose's stand-up is really, really good.
But see, UFC's
But-
good at evaluating that, and will probably move her up the ranks.
But yeah, they're gonna give her people that she can beat
for a while.
for a while because they're building her.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's no secret they do that shit. That's the cool thing about your career, Cody, is like you were thrown into the fire. Like literally,
They
like
were
you're like,
yeah,
Yeah, it's Rose.
we're gonna get you in and out real quick.
but no, you're like, no, I'm
Like,
gonna stay
no,
here for a while and just keep kicking ass. You know, like I mean that's the cool thing
Shaking
is
your head
that
at.
This internet. Because I was trying to pull it up and it was so slow that it loaded. When it loaded up first said Joanna, and then it loaded up the rest and it was saying Morose.
yeah, you were like on Wikipedia like
Well, no, it was what popped up.
So last week you went on a different radio show. I think it was MMA Junkie, and he's allowed to. What the fuck?
Kidding.
And
MMA junkies,
no, that's cool. They're legit.
yeah, they
Yeah.
have a freaking.
They got a budget.
I don't know. They got a massive following. It's crazy. They really. I don't know because they're like in what is that? What hotel is it? MGM.
Yeah,
They're in the MGM. Like they're.
we're gonna get that following when we have your swimsuit calendar that comes out next year. We're gonna release it in September, so you get the extra
You have
4
to-
months.
You have to follow.
No,
and
he's
you
gonna
have
be
to
in
follow, and we're gonna give a
uniforms.
code.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
code every
Episode.
episode. We're just gonna
Exactly.
throw it in randomly in the episodes. At
Oh,
the
that's
very
what-
end.
Can you see
That's
Cody
what
in a
we-
speedo, but like at the Belle Isle Aquarium? Like, he has like all Detroit settings in front of like the Joe Louis fist.
Just just in a different color speedo and
Exactly. You know.
With like
Whatever it
for
takes.
Halloween, it's a
Whatever it
speedo
takes.
but a little mask. For 4th of July, it's a flag speedo with a little tiny flag.
Yeah.
For
Uncle Sam hat.
for
Flag.
Christmas, it's a red speedo but with a Santa hat.
That'd be
No,
fucking
it's
awesome,
just
dude.
Holly.
Funny story.
Or just
Funny
Holly right
story.
there.
Yeah.
Red speedo and a Santa hat. I literally One time we had a white elephant gift at my family thing, and my brother and I took pictures, and we put like smiley faces over our faces in Speedos.
Nice.
And we were like, I was like laying down, and he was like standing over me like this, and it was like, and we blew it up and framed it, and it was the white elephant gift, and like my grandma got it. She was like, oh my God, these guys are so muscular. And I'm just like, oh no, this backfired. This is so bad. She was like loving it. And we're like, give me that.
I don't want to trade mine. I'm good. That's what I want.
Yeah, that was messed up.
Oh my God.
You really quickly before we get who you were calling off, that you off the cameras we always talk. You're pretty hard on your little brother out of love and stuff like that. You did lock him out of your house one time naked and made him run around. I did see that video in winter.
Yeah, we do some pretty messed up stuff.
That's some brotherly love there.
Yeah, we do some messed up stuff.
So
like, don't fall asleep in like any common place.
exactly. Last
Weird
one.
stuff.
Lock your doors. First one in bed.
You guys know Mo Williams?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So he fell asleep, and I guess he was snoring, and there was a bunch of people over at my mom and dad's house, and my two little brothers, like, shaving creamed him really bad. Like, literally at one point, he was like sucking shaving cream in it. They literally just put a pile of shaving cream. You couldn't even tell that it was him. His whole head was just shaving cream because he was passed out so hard. And they just like put shaving cream on him, and like he wouldn't move.
Was he
just kept putting it on him, and his whole face was just all shaving cream, and he couldn't even breathe.
Was he that tired, or was he drunk?
Oh yeah, we were pretty wasted.
Oh, okay.
Nice. So you went on the MMA Junkie Radio, and you decided to talk a little bit about your division. Recap some names you threw out there and what you want to see going forward. There's nothing on the horizon right now, but what do you want to see happen in your division?
I said, it all started on Twitter. There was a tweet from Aljamain Sterling, who's like a guy in my division, and he said something about he wants to fight Dominic Cruz, and he's the best grappler in the division, and I wrote, no, you're not. I watched you get your ass kicked by Brian Caraway. You know what I mean? Like,
and you just
something
beat Brian
along that line. And he came back. He kind of like big brothered me. He's like, go get me another drink, dork, kind of like that. And I'm like, well, now we're gonna get into some weird stuff. And we went back and forth for a minute, and a lot of people were writing stuff to him, to me, like nasty stuff. And then that controversy, people love that shit. And next, I'm on MMA Junkie talking about it, and I said, yeah, I would entertain a fight with him, but there are other guys I'd rather fight because he's boring.
Right.
And he came back and said he absolutely has no reason to fight me because I'm a nobody. Ooh. So I think we're probably gonna end up fighting each other. So
them are fighting words.
One way or another. Next time I see him, we'll probably be fighting.
That's fucking awesome. Twitter wars as an athlete. I mean,
serious stuff, man. People latch onto it. I mean, that's really. I'm learning that there's.
See, I don't get Twitter. I
don't get it either. I have like 1,000 followers on Twitter. I don't like take it serious. I've never even really used it. But I mean, I wrote one bad tweet to one person, and next thing you know, I got 1,000 more followers like just that day. You know what I mean? Like, people love it.
Let's go through your tweeting process, because with President Trump, I really think it's like type it and then send it, because some of the stuff he sends is like crazy. So you don't even give it
proofread.
I don't proofread it.
People say count up to 60, and if you still feel that same way, send it. You don't. It's just like fire, boom.
Yep. I mean, they say one of the trait that all millionaires have in common is that they're very decisive. That they decide right then. That's yes or no. Boom, boom, boom. So that's kind of been that's been my thing lately. Like, with whatever it is,
it's just tweeted.
I'm like thinking about it. If I've been thinking about it for a little while, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it, and then I just do it. And it's kind of like that. You know that movie with Jim Carrey, that Yes Man movie?
Oh, yes,
yeah. Like, every time someone's like, hey, do you want to go swim with sharks? You're like, yes. And you really don't want to do it, but you just do it anyways. I've kind of been doing that lately, and it's actually been pretty fun.
So what's as you're waiting for your fight announcement, what's on the horizon here for spring and summer? You got any vacation you and your family planned, or a little fishing, anything?
Going to probably you know, I think my main focus right now is just going to be getting better at, you know, MMA. You know, that's what I like to do. It's like a hobby and a job. So I'll probably be training 6 days a week and maybe doing something cool 1 day a week. But next month we go to Miami for Darren's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
But that, I mean, I'm pretty thankful not to be traveling anymore. I just want to be home. And
Now, Darren's dogs are such a part of his and Malky's family. Are they gonna make the flight too and be part of it?
would not surprise me.
Would not surprise if
It
they're
wouldn't
like.
surprise me one bit. if
I would
they
say
just
they'd
stay
be
in
like
the
ring
hotel.
bearers or something.
God only knows.
Is there a
we might,
bachelor- is there a
walk 'em
bachelor
down the
party?
aisle. I don't think
Darren
there's
and
gonna
Cody
be.
bachelor party would be like probably
Like
the
the hangover.
craziest thing. Like first off, you got to collect
there
phones.
is, we're just gonna be like, hey, yeah, we're going to get some food.
And then you
Darren and
disappear
I,
for 2
and
days.
then, yeah,
2 days later, you wake up
Yeah.
in
we're like, okay,
Taiwan.
we're sure gonna be back. We gotta be back by like 2 a.m. or whatever.
Havana, Cuba.
It's gonna
What
have to
happened?
It's gonna have to be
Yeah.
Are we in a communist country right now? Are we in Cuba?
because I think I don't know how this wedding is gonna shake down, but I think we're gonna have to be very on our best behavior. And it's
Okay.
gonna be very hard, especially if we're just wasted in Miami.
Nice. Miami's hot. Are the guns gonna be out? What are you guys wearing? Tuxedos? Are you going old school?
Speedos.
Speedos. There we go.
I'm wearing
Don't-
Speedo to the beach for sure.
Don't overdo it though, because we want this calendar to sell. You know, don't
Yeah,
overexpose
don't-
yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll just take pictures from the belly button up.
Yeah, the only way this
Never know
calendar
what it
works is, you know, so far we got Belle Isle
want that.
Aquarium and Joe Louis Fist. We just got to think of other
Oh.
location.
I could just be sitting on it, like riding it.
Oh my God.
That'd be hilarious. This actually could work. This actually could be like really funny.
I think it would be great, dude. And then,
Wondering,
Motown Records. You going? Yeah.
the train station.
The train station.
station, yeah.
Yep. Definitely have to get one.
oh, you know what?
The Fisher.
No.
Well, yeah, but
Let's take
I
them
could
in.
just be in a Speedo at the Lafayette Coney Island,
Oh my God.
that would be awesome.
eating a chili dog. I have a feeling who's going to be, I don't know what the kind of people that are going to be buying this.
You know what would be great if he wears a tracksuit in the DIA and just pulls it off really quick in front of the Van Gogh. It'd just be like, boom, there, buddy.
But see, no, because
No,
you
in
can't
front
take
of the
pictures.
Diego.
Yeah, the Diego.
But you can't have cameras, so you would.
Okay,
not
at
be able
that
to picture
point,
it.
he's in a Speedo. Are you worried about the camera rule?
Yeah, we're going to get the
What I'm saying is they would.
Oh,
glasses.
gotcha.
Yeah, I was gonna
Glass
say
recorder.
they would check to see if you had cameras before you even go in.
I gotcha.
Yeah, but yeah, if we had the Google glasses, we could do it. Yeah.
We'll have to think of locations.
Spyglasses.
If,
Yeah.
if anyone's got a good location,
At the
definitely
Russell.
post it on our Facebook.
Yeah.
Sure, roughly, yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh, the Russell. We got to go back to where it all started.
Just
Yeah.
on the haunted staircase.
Yeah, exactly. No, in the elevator, the old freight elevator.
I like to
happened
think
Where
those-
you guys took your first like promotional photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I like to think that elevator's not working anymore for safety reasons. If that's still working,
It was
that would
still
be
working. I
amazing.
can always guarantee you it's
We-
still working.
We stayed in this hostel in Rome. That the elevator was like maybe the size of a closet, like 4 feet by 4 feet. And like while we were going down, it like dropped a couple feet. And he's like, "Oh, it's fine. It does it all the time." I'm like, "Get me out of this fucking elevator, dude." Seriously, he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Stop this fucking elevator." I'm like, "I don't want to be on this thing." They like literally like we're like going down, and I'll say like, "Boop." And, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And this guy's like, "Oh, it's okay. It does it all the time." I'm like, "No, get me off this thing. I'm gonna walk."
You were in
Fine.
you were in Italy with Jason Fisher. Tell us about Italy. Beautiful.
Awesome. The history there is unreal. Rome is the most unreal place I've
there.
ever been in my life.
And the best thing is you had a picture of you actually in the fucking Coliseum,
Coliseum,
which is
yeah.
fucking awesome
It
because
was awesome. I was like just standing there, just like, oh my, the things that happen in this place.
Oh yeah.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's kind of a ruin too. There's not like, there's like one quarter of it's probably standing. Like, I mean, it's in bad shape. It's in really bad shape.
But that kind of stuff is surreal because
Of
it's
what happened there. You
it's not in a picture. If you're actually there, like you
Yep.
smell it and
Yeah.
you can feel it. It's crazy.
Plus, you had a great quote about it. You said something like, you know what? If I would have been around, I'd have probably fought in here too. I like fighting.
They
Like,
were,
you had like a good quote.
They were talking about the gladiators and like their lifestyle and what they did, and basically like they were saying, you know, basically all they did was, you know, they only competed a couple times a year,
Yeah.
and the rest of the time all they did was train. and everyone was like, "Well, that can't be right. They were fighting every day," and like they're like, "Yeah, no, they trained every day. They didn't fight every day."
Yeah. No,
And-
people have this weird like Hollywood view of like what gladiators. When gladiators were more like MMA fighters today.
Superstars.
They were superstars. They did promotions. They would promote people's bakeries and other shit like that. And yeah, they were treated very, very well because they were, you know,
Entertainment.
they were entertainment, and they didn't fight to the death. You know, that's
no.
a.
I didn't say it.
No, I'm saying,
I
but
said
yeah.
I liked his
Common,
quote.
common
Yeah.
misconception, yeah.
It's common misconception. They would fight to like first blood or like less. You know, they're much more like MMA fighters today than anything else that people have imagined.
Some of them obviously did die. They were throwing swords.
yeah.
It could happen, but
Yeah.
if someone could die in an MMA fight.
Right.
It wasn't something that happened every single time. Yeah, but I mean, it was crazy to hear that like more animals died in the Coliseum than anything. Like
Yeah.
they had like animal and animal fights, people fighting animals, you know, and then they had hunters fighting animals, which were like gladiators that fought animals, and then at the end, like the climax,
Main
like
event.
the main event was like the gladiators, like the real legit guys. And it was crazy to hear that like the gladiators, you know, were superstars and they were well taken care of, but they were also owned by the people that owned whatever dojo they trained out of. Kind of like your manager is also like
Oh, you.
also owns you, like in every single way.
Wow, that's crazy.
Ouch.
Besides the Coliseum, what was the highlight of the trip? Non-fighting. What else did you see you liked?
Oh, jeez. The Vatican was pretty surreal. That's something that, I mean, I would say that if you like, if you're like a history buff, or you care anything about like, you know, if you like old buildings or you like old architecture, I would say, or you're religious, you should go to the Vatican. You should go to the Colosseum. You should just go to Rome. Because, I mean, that's an old city. It's one of the, you know, staples of civilization today. I mean, there's so much history there. I would definitely say that's the coolest place I've ever been by.
Long shot.
By, a million times.
Nice. Well, that's cool. We're going to wrap things up. We'll be back next week, next Tuesday. We want to thank everybody for listening. Send in, if you are listening, where would you like Cody to do his calendar shoot at?
Yeah.
We're open to ideas in the Detroit area.
Yeah, there you go.
Anything that you think would be good? The queue line, maybe? With people just standing there and him being like holding
the
thing.
pole.
And,
Queue line,
exactly.
yeah.
Just riding the queue line in a Speedo.
This is going to be manifested and it's going to become real.
Oh, no, it's
happening.
I'm already thinking about it.
I mean,
Yeah.
you think we're joking. We're not.
No.
This is happening.
And then that catapults you into legendary status.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
it's, you know, you would actually, you know what? I don't think anybody from the UFC has done us, not even Ronda Rousey. I don't think anybody's done a calendar.
But they've all done like naked.
Right.
I'm down with the calendar, and I was just reading an article about how an Instagram model, who's actually really, she's really hot. She made like $700,000 selling calendars last year.
I believe it.
That's where calendar sales were.
Absolutely.
And I'm just like, there are a lot of perverted motherfuckers out there.
Exactly. And then we just
I would
got
have bought the calendar though, if I'm being honest.
there we
If I'd
go.
known.
Cody, 12 plus the 4 bonus months we're going to give you. We're going to give you
Yep.
September and
September through December.
December of this year too. So you're getting, 16. That ain't bad. We'll take it. I
Not
think
be
it's funny,
available
dude.
at Barnes and Nobles.
No, it will not be.
No.
We might be in the little
But
mall.
it should be.
Right. We might be in the little mall kiosks if we play it right. But,
I got a lot of friends that are Arabic, so we can make that happen.
nice.
They probably own those.
There we go.
Probably shouldn't have said that.
But and then you know what? We'll do an infomercial too, where he's
Yeah.
promoting it and stuff. Where we'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
like,
Behind
look
the
at him in here
scenes.
in December.
Just like spin around like.
Exactly.
Like the fight boss.
Exactly. Look here in January. Oh,
Hi, everybody.
February.
Just have everything blurred out except for my face. You never know what you're gonna get on these.
Exactly.
And if you order now, it's a bonus.
Exactly.
We'll send in 2 free DVDs.
Awesome.
But we're not going to tell you what's on the DVDs.
All right, we'll see everybody next week. Thanks, Cody, Jimmy, Rochelle. not too. Actually, you know what? Adonis Stevenson fights Jack, so that's the big fight too in not Montreal, Toronto. So let's see if Adonis still has some stuff in him at my age, and that might be a good fight still for him. So we'll see. All right, take care, everybody. Bye.